At least I shaved my beard so I don't look homeless anymore.
Are you serious? Come on now. We're trying to make love here!
What's up, guys? This is Kevin, and this is another episode of Watch or Skip, the movie review channel where I go more in depth with each one, and I also talk about movies I liked, don't like, and movies you might not have seen, so at least you're going to learn something, unlike my last 12 years in school. So, first and foremost, this is Incredible Hulk 2008, not the 2003 Hulk, which is basically Michael Vick's wet dream, where he fights a giant poodle halfway through the movie. A couple of shout-outs before we really get started into this. I'm not going to talk too much about the movie, except it's the inception of Hulk in the MCU. It doesn't go into the beginning or his transformation into it. He's already on the run from the government. They're chasing him down. His love interest is involved. He's trying to get her safely out of the way while also trying to find a cure for what's going on with him. And it goes into it a little bit more, and then he fights basically him, but on steroids. But first, we want to give a quick shout out to Red Dot on the shot, my boy Tim at Red.Tim on IG. If you guys have IG, if you don't, get IG just to follow him. You know, why not? It can be the 2 followers along with your mom. Yeah. And then we also have Capital Workspaces, which allows us to have this space right here, as well as the space next door where I do my podcast with Evan called Watch or Skip Psych. It's not actually called that. It's called Running with Scissors, which is where we first did an episode of Watch or Skip as a review just on the podcast, and that's how we started this all. So Running with Scissors is available on Spotify and everywhere else, so check that out as well. It's a good time, dark humor, pretty bad jokes. You'll cringe a little, but hey, that's part of the fun. So we're going to go right into the acting immediately and where this movie screwed up. So Ed Norton is the Hulk in this movie, also known as the guy from Fight Club. He's all right in this movie, but he's not the first choice for the director, which was Mark Ruffalo. And because of that, they didn't even model the Hulk's face off of him. They used somebody else's face entirely, so the Hulk doesn't look like him. There's no connection between the Beast and what he looks like. And also, he wasn't even the first choice of the director. It was pressured by the studio. So when you look at it as if, what if Mark Ruffalo was in this movie instead, it's almost a better movie. And then there also were attempts to recast Eric Bana. Thank God they didn't. I like Eric Bana as an actor, but that 2003 movie was so freaking bad, I never want to see it again. And then we also had David Duchovny as one of the possible Hulk actors. And if you don't know who that is Fox Mulder from The X-Files. Also in Californication as well. It would have been kind of cool to see him in there, but I don't really think anyone would have done better than Mark Ruffalo out of that cast. So I'm really glad that after there were contract disputes with Ed Norton, they decided to just go with Mark Ruffalo anyway. And he's been ever since, and he will be in the new She-Hulk series coming soon to Disney+, which would be kind of cool as well. We also have Liv Tyler as the love interest, Betty. She's okay. The relationship's not very, how do I say this, realistic. It's kind of boring, and she's like one take the whole time. She's kind of like that one pace monotoned. She's fine. William Hurt's in it. He's the only thing that's taken to the other MCU movies. He is the colonel. He is the head of the government guys, the military, chasing down the Hulk, trying to get him and use him as an American weapon. There's actually a scene at the very end of the movie where he's drinking an Incredible Hulk, which is Henny and Hypnotic. If you don't know, anything is possible, baby. Anything. And he actually meets with Iron Man, and that's the little connection there. He then comes back in with Civil War. Captain America Civil War is the next time we see him. Much older, but still kind of an asshole. And then we also have Ty Burrell, who is from Modern Family. He plays a cuck. That is his role in this movie. He is a cuck. We also have Tim Blake Nelson as the leader. If you have never read the comics, it's the guy with the giant head. He's super powerful, mind powers and stuff. And he's in it briefly as like an ally and then gets the powers at the very end, and then they never use it again. So no idea. He probably just died off screen or something because we never hear about him again. They totally scrapped the idea, which was a pretty cool character in the comics. And it just shows how this movie was fumbled because nothing is used in the MCU ever. Tim Roth is the Abomination, which is basically just Hulk, but the other version. He was actually supposed to be in Age of Ultron, but they said, nah, we're not going to do that to you guys twice. We also had Lou Ferrigno If you guys don't know who that is, he is actually the original actor from the old 70s Hulk series, where he was basically just painted green because the dude is enormous. And he was in there as a security guard, briefly. And then he's also the voice of Hulk in this movie as well. So they still use him for that, which was kind of cool. Even though he's obviously a lot older, couldn't play him personally. But they still use him for the role as the voice of Hulk. And he does a great job, as he always has, even in the 70s show. We're going to get right into the nitty-gritty. I don't have fun facts for you guys this week. It's just no. It's really no. This is not a fun movie for me. It took me 4 hours to watch this. This movie is 2 hours long. We have over 700 visual effects for this movie. I don't like shitting on movies because they have bad visual effects, because a lot of them are older movies. You don't watch, let's say, The Terminator because you think it's really realistic how he suddenly forms together. It's not. It doesn't look good at all anymore. What does look good is Jurassic Park, which used animatronics with Stan Winston, who was also involved in an Iron Man film, if you remember. He was not involved in this film because obviously 700 visual effects. But the fact that you used real practical effects does go a long way, especially when the film gets older. This movie looks like dog shit, and it has so many bad effects in it because it's 2007 effects. And it looks like a Call of Duty game, like one of the original ones. It doesn't look real at all. It's two CGI monsters fighting each other. It shows. And a lot of the movements are just a little off because they haven't quite gotten down all the muscle and everything that they did in later movies like Avatar. The Toronto mayor is a huge fan of the Hulk. The only reason I mention this at all is because he made it so that they filmed a lot of this in the Toronto location, because he gave them a lot of kickbacks and said, hey, if you film it here, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Please film it. I love the Hulk. That's kind of neat, and that's probably the only cool thing, is that they got to film in Toronto, which is a beautiful city. If you've never gotten to visit, as I've never gotten to visit, it looks very beautiful, especially from all of the pictures from Google I looked up. In order to get you guys the picture you're probably going to see around here. We also have the two fun facts, as I call them, fun facts. I actually will give you these. This is the shortest MCU film, and it made the least. Shocker. 1 hour, 52 minutes, and about 200 million, which for any other movie would be awesome, except they used a lot of that money for the shitty effects. And then, I guess I do have a fun fact for you guys. I forgot about this. So you thought we fucked up, but Germany fucked up worse. Germany creates this new rating system called Not Under 13, which is not under 12. It's like PG-13, except worse. And they edited it so bad that they had to put a label in front of the movie that basically says this movie is essentially unwatchable. Do not watch it. It's bad. And it was so bad that they didn't even make nearly half of what they thought they'd make in Germany, which also negatively affected this movie. So that's pretty much it for the day. I don't have much positive to say about this movie. It's so damn bad. It's boring. There's so many slow parts. The action's okay at best. The only cool thing about the action is that they used actual linebacker movement. So, like Ray Lewis. It looks kind of like two linebackers fighting each other, which seems cool, but you'd probably get more, drama and fun out of watching a high school football game. So this movie wasn't good. I gave it a skip. It does not affect the MCU at all. You could literally not watch this movie and get everything out of the MCU rewatch or first watch that you could, and it's like a 6.8 out of 10. I'm not going to totally trash it, but it wasn't good. And honestly, that's all I got for you guys.